Shalom, shalom. This is Mora Bronte Israel, and I just want to share something briefly, something I'm sure we all can relate to, especially us as women. When things in our life tend to be going wrong, a lot of times, the first thing people that will resort to believing is that it's the devil, or mainly because someone is doing something to them, someone is working against them. Because a lot of us grew up in churches where they were always talking about the enemy. And I remember myself being a young believer, back and forth within myself, trying to identify the enemy that was being talked about. Are we talking about the devil or other people? But because of the way that it was talked about or taught about, because of the way that it was taught, we believed more so that it was people at work against us. So we developed the mindset that people are the ones who's always working against us. And you carry that mindset over, into your adulthood, or your different place that you are in spiritually, whatever stage or phase you are in. We tend to still have that mindset. And it's so important that we cast that mindset down, because nobody is always doing something to you when things in your life are not going the way that you desire them to go. Sometimes cycles and patterns and habits are repeating themselves because we haven't changed the way that we respond to those things. And it's not the devil, it's not people, but it's your own desires, it's your own flesh that hasn't been tamed, that's still unruly, that's keeping you locked into a pattern, and you can't figure out why you're stuck. You're stuck because you haven't changed how you respond to that situation, whether that's your appetite when it comes to food, whether it's your desire to be recognized. Because if you don't tame your desire to be recognized, it can lead to depression. It can take you deeper into the different realms of rejection. See, a lot of times we haven't yielded and surrendered our life to the Holy Spirit. A lot of times we're still controlled and dominated by our flesh. The flesh is dictating to us what it wants. And when the flesh doesn't get it, we go through all sorts of rejection and whatever. So it's not so much that somebody's doing something to you, you're doing it to yourself, because you haven't crucified your flesh. You haven't brought your desires under the control, allow them to come under the control of the Holy Spirit. So that flesh is crying out like a child, and when it doesn't get what it wants, it retaliates on you. So I challenge you to change your mindset and the way that you believe concerning this matter, because it's not the devil. People are not working against you. The habit, the pattern, the cycle is continuing and remaining the same because you will not change your response, your behavior. You won't allow the change to take place within you. You can't pray this thing away. You can't wish it away. You can't have people lay hands on you away. You can't ask the Father to take it away. But you must deny your flesh. You're self-inflicting. You're inflicting these things upon you because you won't allow the Holy Spirit. You won't surrender, which will allow the Holy Spirit to be at work in you and to give you strength and power in those areas where you are weak. But instead, you're allowing your flesh to dominate you and rule over top of you. And nobody likes to be controlled. We don't like to be ordered around and controlled by anybody. We soon take offense when we're on the job, or you can be working in the kitchen with somebody and that person, if they're bossy and ordering you around, we soon identify that we don't like that. But what's ordering you around and what's bossing you around is your flesh, and you allow your flesh. Instead of seeing your flesh for what it is, you'd rather say that it's the devil doing something to you, or somebody's working witchcraft against you, but it's not. It's indwelling sin, unruly desires that are controlling and dominating you. So just like you get upset when mammon bosses you around, get upset with your flesh bossing you around. Take authority over your flesh. Put your flesh in place, in check. Deny it. Sit it down. Get it crucified. And then that place and that pattern that you're stuck in and can't seem to move, once you get your flesh under control and submitted and yielded to the Holy Spirit in that area of your life, you're going to see a change. Shalom.